And the reason why I care about this message is because I myself struggled severely with mental health. There is a stigma where men are not allowed to say, I'm not okay. Strength does not mean carrying it alone, and built up pressure that I have been dealing with for all these years finally had an escape route. On the Whitney Wright Show. Now, as a bit of an introduction, I am an orthodontist by training, but have since turned into an author and a men's mental health advocate. I am a husband of 23 years to my college sweetheart, Margaret. I am a father of three. I've got a boy and two girls, and they are definitely in their teenage years, 19, 17, and 14. I have written a book. It is called Men Under Pressure: How to Reclaim Your Mental Health. It has become a #1 Amazon bestseller, and I'm very grateful for the support that it has received and the feedback that I've gotten telling me about how it has helped many, many people. So I'm very grateful about that. And the reason why I care about this message is because I myself struggled severely with mental health. I was really dealing with difficult anxiety, deep depression. I was having panic attacks while I was working on patients. I was really, really struggling, and it got to the point where I needed to get some help. And so that is essentially who I am. And once again, welcome to the Whitney Wright Show. Here we'll have real conversations. We'll be talking about different tools you can use, stories of myself, of other guests, and we'll essentially be helping people navigate pressure. I know that that is a difficult thing sometimes to work on, especially as men, because we as men are taught that we are to just be stoic and make sure we don't show any weaknesses or any chinks in our armor, that we are definitely stalwart. And that is one of the issues that we're dealing with, is that we are unable to discuss these things because there is a stigma where men are not allowed to say, I'm not okay. One of my main focuses that you'll hear me talk quite a bit about during this podcast is the importance of telling someone. Now, what tell someone means is that you stop suffering in silence. You need to understand that strength does not mean carrying it alone. And that was one of the things that I was really struggling with, that I was feeling like I had to carry all of my pressure, all of my fears, everything that was going on in my life that was affecting my mental health. And I felt like, to be a strong man, I had to carry that alone. And that was a mistake. That's ultimately a huge mistake. And that's why I am here to encourage you to tell someone. And the reason is because by telling someone, you'll make a connection, and that connection can ultimately change your life and the lives of others. And healing often begins by telling someone. So my story is pretty much, I graduated from my orthodontic residency in 2010, started a dental and orthodontic company in Arizona, where I was born and raised, with a couple of partners, and we grew the company. We grew it pretty successfully, 27 practices in 4 different states, about 1,000 employees. It really got big quickly, and that was great. On the outside, I looked like I had everything in the world. I had a beautiful family, a wonderful career, successful practices that were just growing and growing. And it just seemed like everything was going my way. And sadly, that's not how I felt on the inside. On the inside, I felt like I was falling apart. I was terrified. I was scared of the fact that at any moment this could all come crashing down around me. And I was on that trajectory. I was feeling severe anxiety. There was severe depression. There was pressure. I was feeling overwhelmed all the time. And it almost felt like I lived in a constant sense of dread, which is terrible. That's a terrible way to live. And I know, because I've been there. It sucks. And so I finally opened up about it. I didn't really have much of a choice, because I was having panic attacks in front of my patients. And that meant that I had to pretty much come clean about it, because I couldn't hide it anymore. And when I finally did open up about it, everything changed. Everything got better. And that's not because it magically went away, but because the built up pressure that I had been dealing with for all these years finally had an escape route. That wasn't a panic attack. That wasn't me just crying in my car, wondering, what in the world am I going to do today? I just can't face another day. And so that was crucial for me when I was able to tell someone. So, how do you tell someone? How do you tell someone that you're not doing great? How do you tell someone that you're struggling? It's pretty much a simple three-step process. One, first off, recognize you need to tell someone. Recognize that you're struggling alone and that you cannot handle this all by yourself. Two, figure out who in your life you can tell that won't disrupt their life tremendously. For example, you could tell a best friend, a pastor, a therapist, your doctor, someone that you're struggling. You might want to be cautious of telling someone who directly reports to you, like an employee or someone who depends upon you for your protection and your providing, such as your spouse or your children. Just be cautious. And that by what I mean by tell someone, I don't mean tell anyone or especially tell everyone. Don't broadcast it on social media. Just tell someone, someone that you trust that you can connect with. And what you do is you just contact them either on a phone call or you meet together for lunch or whatever. And when they ask you, how are you doing, which they inevitably will, you just simply say, I'm not okay. I am not okay. I need some help. And that will start the conversation, and you'll be very surprised at how much better you will immediately feel knowing that you're able to share that pressure and you have someone on your side who can help you. And you can start today. Anyone can start today. You can tell someone today. It is scary, but I tell you, it will definitely be the greatest thing that you can do if you are under pressure. So choose yourself, choose your someone, not everyone, like I said, just that one trusted person. Find someone who you know you'll be able to talk to and that they will help you understand what it is that you're going through and just be a listening ear. The first person that I opened up to was my wife. She is extremely wonderful. She has always been very good at giving advice. She has always been great at being able to support me and know that I am going to try to do my very best as a husband, as a father, as a provider, as an orthodontist. And so she knew that if I was opening up about this, it was because I was ready to make a change. I was ready to do better. And you don't need a big audience. You just need that one person, that one ally. And I know you can do it. Secondly, you're going to want to tell the truth. Now, you're not going to give them the super polished version, not, oh, it's okay, I'm fine. You're going to say what's really going on. For example, I've been having panic attacks and I don't know what to do about it. Or I have severe depression. I can't seem to get out of bed. Or I'm thinking about hurting myself. The first time I told the full truth was terrifying because for years I had kept that shame inside. I had kept that fear inside. I had just catastrophized in my mind that as soon as I let that information out, that whoever it was that was around me, who was loving me and supporting me, would take off because they would realize that I was a worthless man at this point in time and no longer able to care for or help others who might be struggling. And so I was terrified, but that's okay. When you tell the truth, the whole truth the first time, you will feel free. It's amazing. And you can't heal what you are unwilling to reveal. And then once you've shared your truth, you have let them know, you have told someone, stay connected. Stay connected with that person or get connected to other people who might be struggling, a men's group, or just someone that you can be able to continue to have conversations with because these conversations help. In fact, myself, whenever I'm talking about my mental health issues, the more I talk about it, the less power they have over me, the less power that they are able to control me. And it just makes me free. So ongoing connection heals and check-ins definitely matter. So for me, one of the things that, well, not one of them, but one of the many things that I did to make sure that I was being heard and was able to get the issues out of me was I was going to therapy. I was doing a special type of therapy called EMDR, which is phenomenal for helping those who have traumatic experiences or dealing with PTSD. I was using a support system, and that's basically what I would recommend. Now, in my case, it was a little bit different because of all the severe symptoms that I was having, the depression, the panic attacks, all of those issues. My psychiatrist essentially said to me, Whitney, you need to get better. If you do not stop working, you will die. Um, she said, Right now, it's panic attacks, and pretty soon it will be heart attacks. Your body will shut you down. So you need to get these things out. You need to get better. And as you do, you'll see that it was well worth it. So this podcast is about mental health. It's about relationships. It's about faith, purpose, success and failure, practical tools, guest interviews, the whole shebang. Maybe I'll even share my favorite recipes. I don't know, because I do like to cook. But essentially, the ultimate goal is to learn how successful people handle pressure. I'm talking about the bosses in the office place, the business owners, the chief legal officers. I'm talking about the C-suite folks. I'm talking about those who have a lot of responsibility resting upon them, and they don't know what to do about it. They don't know how to get help without letting people know, because if they let people know, they feel that that might ruin what it is they've got going on, and it might. So I'm here to help you navigate that in as discreet of a way as possible. And I'm glad that you are here with me today. So once again, do not carry this alone. That is not what we are built to do. We are built to share these things. All it takes is one call, one text, one conversation to tell someone. Be brave. Tell someone. I'm Whitney Wright, and this is the Whitney Wright Show. See you next time.